Hey everybody, it's Matt here, and today we're doing another installment of What Are You Playing? And before we get to what I'm playing, let's jump to a few other members of those guys' play and see what they're playing.
Hey, so I'm going to tell you about the games I've been playing this month. There's some stuff that hasn't and will not change. Pokemon Go, although with the current situation, it's a little more difficult to play, but I live next door to a park with a Pokestop, so I can get my daily stuff, and they're making more additions to the game that allow you to kind of play from home now, which is kind of nice. So I've been, in and out of that. I am also still playing Mario Kart, still trying to get all of my my 3 stars on my courses and stuff. But the change with that is I have my own Switch now. I was sharing one with my partner prior, so time on the system was a little harder to divide up. But I got I got the Animal Crossing Switch, and I love it, and it's my baby. So now I get to play more, and I'm also playing Animal Crossing, and it's so good. I'm a little bit slower at the Animal Crossing games. I really like to kind of take my time, and I play like little bits here and there, like 10 minutes here doing some shovel work, and then 20 minutes here going to islands and whatever. But it's so good, and I really like being able to socialize with people and pretend like everything's fine. Like, I get to go see my friends and go to their islands and hang out with them and beat each other with nets, just like in real life, like we would be doing. So it's really awesome, and I'm also really big into like the fashion and like the clothes and stuff. A lot of my friends are getting the Able Sisters shops, and I'm not quite there yet, so I've just been going to everybody's towns and buying out all the clothes so I can be the most fashionable you're not the mayor anymore, what is it, the resident representative, most fashionable resident representative of all time. So other games I've been doing this month to cover the rest of my bases before when it was okay to go to people's houses. I was going to my sister's a lot because her and her fiance have been getting Oculus headsets. They have a wired one and a wireless one, and now from my family playing it and getting into it, my mom has a wireless headset for our house now. And we played a lot of different stuff, roller coaster simulator, and all the usual stuff. But the two big things that I really enjoyed and we play fairly often, or played fairly often, was Beat Saber. We have all these like custom downloaded songs, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a nice way to get up and move, and it's really funny to watch other people play. Like my sister's fiance just did a stream the other night where he played the entire Shrek movie on Beat Saber, and it was incredible. And the other game that we played that I really enjoyed was it was called Acron, and there's like a main user who's playing on VR, and then everybody else is playing on their phone, and the main user is a tree, and the other players are squirrels, and it's squirrels against the tree. We're trying to grab acorns and keep them away from the tree, but the tree is like throwing stuff at you and trying to keep knock you out and keep you out of the game and make sure you don't pick up the acorns, and it kind of like keeps a score throughout, and it's really fast paced. You can play like a bunch of rounds and kind of keep tally, and it was a lot of fun, and nice for people to who aren't like don't really know everything about VR yet. Like, it's a nice stepping stone, because if you're not the tree, you're just playing on your phone. And I've also been doing a lot of Jackbox now, since it's a nice way to kind of connect with people far away. I haven't gotten into the big newer ones yet, but like Jackbox 3 and 5 are the best ones in my personal opinion. So that's what I've been playing this month. Hopefully now that I have my own Switch, I can start picking up some of the older games that I have around that I didn't get to play as much, and can work some new ones into the mix. Thank you.
The big game changer, if you will, came on Christmas. I got a PS4, so that has kind of been me coming out of retirement as far as playing video games goes. There's actually 2 releases this month that I'm super excited for, which is the Trials of Mana remake and the Final Fantasy VII remake, of course. So I played the demo for both of those. Super engrossed in it. Even would have bought its sight unseen, but I'm now more excited for it than ever. Especially Trials of Mana. Matter of fact, I would even hazard to say, a little bit more excited about the Trials of Mana remake since playing the demo than I even maybe for FF7 remake. But both of them highly immersive environments. In many cases familiar environments that are reimagined. Just huge immersive games, and like I said, I really with Trials of Mana got a certain feeling when I play a game that I haven't gotten since I played Ocarina of Time for the first time back in the day, where there's that immersive, day passes, night passes, cities are closed at night and open during the day, and there's different secrets you can find depending on the time of day and stuff, and you can watch the sunrise as you trek across the plains and climb mountains and things like that. And it's just a very, very intense sense of being there. And with how colorful the Mana world is, which I think that's part of what draws me to the series, is that it's just so vibrant and so lush. That walking around in the world of the game is incredibly thrilling, and that, never mind the fact that it's a very very deep game system. It looks like they've taken the depth and the complexity of the gameplay from the original and really just expanded it to be even better. So that's definitely going to be excellent. I'm chomping at the bit to get on with that story. FF7 remake, like I said, when a lot of people complain that it's the first game is just Midgar, and the way that I'm preferring to think about it is, the first game is just Midgar, but it's a fully explorable, fully realized Midgar, because we got to explore literally not even a quarter of the city in the original game. There's just lots of areas that were never shown or were never able to be accessed. So I'm excited to run around in those. Kind of a turn-based kind of guy, so the combat's taking a little bit of getting used to. I haven't really sunk my teeth into Final Fantasy 15. Detractors have said that they're very similar, and honestly, I haven't played enough of 15 to know whether that's a good thing or not. But I like, the almost more action-oriented. At its core, it's still turn-based, but I really like the I don't know. I almost want to just call it the kinetics of the like action RPG style gameplay, where you hit the button and the guy swings the sword. It's almost like that very visceral, like Zelda, again coming back to the Zelda feeling. I think this whole time I've just been chasing that feeling of hitting people with a sword in Zelda for the first time, if I'm being completely honest. But so that's super exciting, and swinging the Buster Sword around, getting to use Barrett's arm cannon, and seamlessly kind of switching between characters, changing your tactics, and having the real-time franticness of battle that's missing when you're doing it turn-based, when everybody's standing in orderly rows and politely waiting for the other person to stop attacking. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, because like I said, the traditional turn-based style has been the gold standard for me for a while. Didn't play much at 12, which used a lot, kind of used a similar sort of system. So it's going to be exciting. But an actual full game that I've been playing this month is Street Fighter V Champion Edition, which, like I said, just got a PS4, so I really didn't get on the Street Fighter V train, before now. So this is a sort of an overall update that includes all of the DLC and all of the characters added in all the different versions of Street Fighter V, which I think there was arcade, there was the original, and then there was Arcade Edition, and then there's Champion Edition. Champion Edition has everything that the previous updates had, so this is a good way to, I kind of got in on the ground floor and got it at a good time, so that now I've just got everything there. The big, huge selling point for it for me was the fact that probably my favorite Street Fighter character ever, Rainbow Mika, is in this one, and she hasn't made an official canon appearance since Street Fighter Alpha 3, which was one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Although honestly, Street Fighter V is definitely a strong contender for new favorite. Love the art style, love the the voice acting and the characters and things like that. There's a tremendous amount of content, especially in this Champion Edition update, which has been excellent. A lot of the DLC available up until now, of course, still costs real money. Better believe that I got like half of Rainbow Mika's costumes already. And there's some really awesome ones, some really creative ones, some Darkstalkers themed Halloween ones, some Christmas ones, because like I said, it covers everything up till now as far as Street Fighter V goes. Gameplay, like I said, cool. Can't really fault it. Controls are smooth. Just really, I like the robustness of it. I like the atmosphere and all the little fan servicey things they sprinkle throughout. Dan Hibiki's not playable, but he does do the running commentary and all the different characters and costumes in the shop, which I thought was really awesome. And there's an arcade mode that emulates each of the previous games in the series, as far as how many battles, which characters that you needed to use stand-ins in case the corresponding character wasn't in this version of the game. But in the case of Street Fighter II, they actually faithfully and beautifully recreated a lot of the classic stages, which was, again, worth the price of admission right then and there. As being in Honda's bathhouse, so much detail, everything that was always there the whole time ever since Street Fighter II, but you couldn't see it due to technical limitations. A thin, shallow layer of water on the floor, you can hear the steam. It's really great. It's really amazing, and so it really feels like a love letter to Street Fighter fans, and I'm really excited to get more into it. And I haven't even unlocked any characters yet. I'm still raising fight money, but I'm really looking forward to sinking my teeth into it.
Hi guys. So the games that I'm playing in April, the first one is Animal Crossing: New Horizons, which just came out in March, and I'm really liking it because I've always been a fan of the Animal Crossing games ever since the GameCube one, and we've played it on this channel actually. I'm really liking the tropical island aspect, and the game does actually make you work hard for more things, so that's always fun. The second game I'm playing is I'm still playing Skyrim, and I'm still enjoying going to just discovering different lands. And let's be honest, no one has ever really finished with Skyrim, and it's the same thing with Animal Crossing 2, actually. Yeah, I'm enjoying let's just say doing things in Skyrim that I normally wouldn't do in real life, but we'll just keep that hush-hush. I also started the Square Enix game Star Ocean, which is the remake of the original, and it's a cool combination between fantasy and science fiction type thing. I didn't get far in it, I just started it, but it is a really fun RPG, and it's one of the classics if you if you're into the JRPG scene. And I think that's about it. Thank you very much for your support in watching us, and have a good night.
So, in true gamer fashion, I have not beaten one game that I've played in our last update video. Now, I will say though, last time I mentioned that I was still playing the Phoenix Wright trilogy, the HD trilogy, the one that was released on the Nintendo Switch. So have I beaten all 3 games? No! But have I beaten the first game? Technically again, yes. Did I start 2 new games that I did beat? Yes. So the first game is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, specifically the one for the Nintendo Switch. And I should also mention, I did play the demo for this game on an episode of First Impressions, so I did have good impressions of this game going into it, but I thought that maybe the game itself would be a bit too short. I saw that the levels were easily beatable, at least the earlier ones were beatable in about maybe some of them a minute and a half, 2, maybe 3 minutes, but then I started seeing that the episodes, or that the levels rather, started piling up, and that there were different parts of the game that would get progressively harder. Now you might be saying, Matt, that's just how games work, and I know, but I really thought that after I beat that first storybook, which had about, I believe it was 16 to 18 levels, I'd be done with the game, and I was like, oh wow, that was actually relatively short. Then all of a sudden I was able to play as Toadette, and then after that I was able to play as Toad and Toadette together, not at the same time usually, but I was able to play as both of them, and it just became such a very interesting, unique game. Also, there's VR aspects to it, there's only a few levels of VR. But when it comes to the actual game itself, yeah, no, it definitely did give me a run for my money, and I even bought the DLC for, I think it was $6, because the game was, I was really starting to enjoy the game so much that I thought, you know what, I gotta get my hands on the DLC. And it was just so much fun, because when you sit back at first, you're thinking, yeah, no, these are very, very easy puzzles. I'm gonna get all of these different diamonds. I'm gonna do just fine. We're all gonna be good here. You know, I'll bang this game out maybe in like 2 hours. Then all of a sudden you get to either different boss fights, or you have the ability to have more than one Toad at once. Also, you have to evade certain enemies. So if you don't know the game, you can't attack as Toad. You can't throw any fireballs. You can throw some turnips, which are nice, but they only give you them in short supply. So really, you're just trying to run around being Toad, or this version of Toad, Captain Toad, and trying to go through all these different puzzles, as you can tell just by watching the footage as I'm talking about it. So really, this game was, again, to me, very unique. I think I talked about it when I said it in First Impressions. I said that it was Nintendo's version of Death Stranding. Or maybe Death Stranding, since it came out later, is Hideo Kojima's version of Captain Toad. I don't know. It's in the eye of the beholder. Do all of you hate me right now? Either way, it was a really fun game, and I definitely recommend it, and I'll definitely be doing a review of it over at our Game Time channel. So definitely check that out in the description box down below if you haven't checked it out. All of our reviews that we've done in the past on this channel are going there, and future reviews will be going there as well. So definitely check out Game Time in the description box down below. So the second game that I beat is definitely one that I am a lot more mixed on, and it's called Kill la Kill If, and it's also for the Nintendo Switch. Now, if you're someone who does not have any experience with the Kill la Kill franchise, do not play this game. This game, at least storyline-wise, isn't really for beginners. Yes, in the beginning they do explain certain things, do voiceover and text, etc., etc., but I still feel as if this game is definitely made for someone who knows about the franchise. So if you do know about the franchise, should you play this game? Well, storyline-wise, yes, you know what's going on. But if you're someone who's going into this like me, just for the story, you're not really a fan of online multiplayer, I mean, heck, what if people don't adopt the game and really get into the game, and there's not much, you know, there's not many, there's slim pickings when it comes to trying to play with people online. Maybe some of your friends don't have the game, so you can't play the game with them. I don't remember if there was online, if there was single-player couch co-op. I could swear that there wasn't, but even if there is, do you have friends who can come over and play like Kill la Kill? Definitely not right now, but in general, do you have friends who can come over and play this game with you who know this anime? Because when it comes to the fighting aspect, I actually enjoyed the game. I thought it was easy to pick up, but when it comes to the story, again, if you're someone like me who, especially because this game has never really been adapted, very much like Dragon Ball Z that ends up getting fighting games, it feels like every year or every other year. I mean, it's been happening since I was a kid, and that was when I had my first DBZ game, that was Dragon Ball Z Budokai on the PS2, and that was in the early 2000s. So there have been a lot of Dragon Ball Z games, so I understand if they want to change things up, reinvent the wheel, etc., do some, you know, what if, interesting side stories and whatnot, but when it comes to Kill la Kill, not focusing on the main story in any way, just having a nice linear, this is how the anime went, and trying to go in a what if direction that also is mirrored, it's mirrored with the two main characters, but while trying to mirror that what if, it ends up being this almost the same story. In some cases, even reused assets, which look, I totally understand. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's a terrible game because there's reused assets. No, look, I totally get it. Devs have to cut corners to make those deadlines. I totally get it. But it is a little off-putting when you have a story that's already so short, where you're really just skipping through certain beats and not having certain characters fight each other. Even though this game has a really nice roster, for some reason you only focus on the two main characters that are antagonists that go up against each other. You only focus on those two, even though you have these other characters that you could be playing through. Something like Dragon Ball Z Budokai, even though it would focus on, let's say, Goku, and maybe you'd have certain segments that only focus on Vegeta, you could still have situations where you play as Piccolo, where you play as Gohan, where you play as Krillin. Not so much here, and that does become a little frustrating. Again, you're not focusing on the main story, you're focusing on a really short what if that I was able to beat within maybe 3 to 4 hours, which normally I don't have a problem with short games, but being able to beat it that quickly and then feeling like there's not much else to the game was a little frustrating. Also because of the fact that while it's good that the game doesn't have any microtransactions, it really tries to focus heavily on online play to be able to get certain points and use those points to be able to unlock certain like voiceover clips and character models and things like that. In general, it's just a game that, again, if you have no familiarity with Kill la Kill, definitely stay away. And if you do have some familiarity, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, if this game is $10 to $20, yeah, I think it's a little fun little romp that you can pick up and just play. But if you are trying to if you're trying to get this game and you end up spending $40 to $60, that's out of my range personally. I would definitely suggest not doing that. And it sucks because, again, this being the first Kill la Kill game, I was pretty hyped for it. I was excited. I wanted to see, yes, a what if is nice, but I was hoping that maybe they'd have an option for the original anime storyline. And the voice acting was great. They brought back the original English cast. I was so happy about it. But for some reason, they didn't have them look at the actual the video itself. So their performances, while great, in no way matched up with the video. So that was a little weird, and also something else as well. So for anyone who needs subtitles, because they might be hard of hearing, the subtitles in this were wonky as hell. Not that they weren't legible in the sense that you couldn't understand what was going on, but they would end up really just either getting going off the screen completely too early, sometimes too late, sometimes it'd flash and it would be the same thing. And I'm wondering if whoever timed this the Japanese version, and then it wasn't fixed in the editing process. So what ended up happening is you'd have maybe 2 lines or 3 lines, and they'd all be combined into one line, but it would just be copy pasted 3 times instead of trying to get rid of those, the flashing and whatnot. It was, again, the game just seems really rushed. I don't hate the gameplay, but a lot of it seems really rushed, so definitely don't spend more than $20 on this unless you're someone who really wants to dive into the online play for this. But it seems like there isn't a huge community right now with that, so you might end up getting screwed over in the next year if you're trying to really play this online and kind of get deep into the game competitively. So it's just I'm really mixed on it. Either way, that's everything that I've been playing this month, and hopefully in the next few months, as I'm starting to kind of get a bit more acclimated to home life and what's on the news and everything, hopefully I can just kind of breathe and play a lot more awesome video games. And if I do, you'll be hearing them in videos just like this. Also want to mention as well before we go, please comment down below and talk about what you've been playing this month, and is there anything that you've beaten this month? That's always a rarity with some of us that play games. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching as always. Please remember to like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe either way. And I will see you next time in another edition of What Are You Playing? Alright everybody, so see ya.